I will always wear clothes that show off my prosthetic. And I mean, I do that anyways, but
Buddy, what is that? What is that? Is that some fresh snow? Oh, that's cold. That's cold, Amadeus. What do you think of the snow?
good morning, YouTube. Actually, now that I think about it, it might not be morning when you're watching this. Good time of day, YouTube. It is Annika here, and it is still pretty snowy from our snowstorm 2 days ago. But Amadeus loves the snow, so I let him come out. I'd like to apologize for my late video. I had another thing planned and decided I didn't like it. So, that being said, I decided to do this video. So it's coming out a couple days late, but hopefully you guys will forgive me because I feel like it's a better video. It is Friday, I think I don't even know what day it is. The 26th? It's the 26th. But it's Friday the 26th, and I'm walking a little bit. I did get the okay from my podiatrist that I can walk as tolerated with my boot on. So, that was a car driving by. I am walking as tolerated. With that being said, I am actually headed out of town, and I need to knock snow off my boots. But I am headed out of town because it is Ezra's birthday this weekend. So I figured I would show you guys how I travel, not only as an amputee, but also in a wheelchair. Okay, so this is a fun fact. We are actually 1,000 miles apart, just about, and I take planes, trains, and cars to get to him. So if any of you remember the Hey There Delilah song, the bridge goes, 1,000 miles seems pretty far, but they've got planes and trains and cars. I'd walk to you if I had no other way. Fun little tidbit about that. But with that being said, I do travel in a wheelchair because yes, I can walk, and even before my ankle injury, I could walk, but airports are so big, especially in Denver. The airport's so big, and I don't want to walk it. Plus, when I get to my location, I want my wheelchair so I can do my bedtime routine as normal as possible. Can be very daunting for a lot of people, so if that's you or if that's a family member, this is a great video to watch to show that it doesn't have to be as scary and daunting as it may perceive to be. So come along with me and I will show you how I travel by myself as an amputee in a wheelchair. Alright, so a big tip I have for people who are traveling alone in a wheelchair is get a bag with straps. I have this bag from Under Armour, which is a duffel, but it's also a backpack, so you have options. That way you don't have to worry about balancing something in your lap or things of that nature. However, if you absolutely need to bring luggage with you, I did bring, ooh, this is terrible lighting over here. Well, we're gonna deal with bad lighting. But if you absolutely want to bring luggage and you're traveling by yourself, I do have this smaller carry-on bag. And what I do is, so if you take off this ankle strap, that gives you more room to put the bag in between on your foot plate. And I normally hold it with my knees. But like I said, if you have something with straps, that is ideal. And I normally do 2-3 day trips anyways, so it works out because I don't need a ton of luggage. Another thing to consider when you're traveling as an amputee is the clothes you wear. And this sounds crazy because if you're traveling, it shouldn't matter. However, I will always wear clothes that show off my prosthetic. And I mean, I do that anyways, but it's really important for TSA. Disclaimer, you don't have to do this, but it helps TSA out a ton when you're going through security at airports if they can see your prosthetic leg. Because as an amputee, you actually don't have, sorry, I'm messing with Amadeus. As an amputee, you actually don't have to take off your shoes. We all know how hard it is to put on and take off shoes off prosthetic feet. The ADA actually protects us from that, and we don't have to take off our shoes. That being said, I will always wear shorts or leggings that show my prosthetic limb. That way they're not confused of, hey, why aren't you taking off your shoe, or trying to give you extra slack that isn't necessary, because we want to make this as simple of a process as we possibly can. I am wearing shorts today. It also makes it easier when I get pat down, because if you wear your prosthetic leg through security walking, you're gonna get that pat down. If you are traveling with a wheelchair, you will also get pat down, because that's just standard protocol. About to head out to the airport. All right, guys. We are loading up my car. First part of traveling by yourself is loading in your own wheelchair. So I did have another video where I show this a little bit better, but basically take off seat. And this is specific to my wheelchair. If you have a different wheelchair, obviously it'll fit differently. But then you take this hook in the back, and then this folds down. And from there, you can lift it up. This is way harder with the camera in my hand. Lift it up, push it in, and then your wheelchair is good to go. I've been driving with my prosthesis lately because I cannot drive with a walking boot. I did drive with a walking boot back when I had on my right foot. However, crossing it over my body with a walking boot did not feel safe, so I have switched back to driving with my prosthesis. I would not suggest driving with your prosthesis unless you absolutely needed to. Like, I feel safe driving with it. I'm not worried about getting in an accident any more than I would normally, but I just feel safer when it is a real leg with a real ankle that can articulate. Because with my prosthetic, I have to lift up at the hip in order to move from the gas to the brake. So like I said, I feel safe driving with my prosthesis, but I just feel safer when I am driving with my real foot. But for the time being, it is what it is. When I go to the airport, I actually park away from the airport at the 61st and Penny station. It's much cheaper to park at. It's only $4 a day as opposed to like $30 at the airport. I park, and then it's a quick ride to the airline. So as you can see, this train station is handicap accessible, and most are, and if it's not all, there's at least one cart that does have a ramp. Once you get on the train, there's a specific area for wheelchairs. That way you don't have to transfer out of your wheelchair. Once I get to the airport, it is a quick elevator ride up to security. I did not check bags, so I go straight through security. The nice thing about being in a wheelchair, or just being disabled in general, is you don't have to stand in the standard queue. And so there's always going to be a sign at every airport I've ever been to. There's going to be a sign that says handicap or disabled or something along those lines, where it is a straight shot to the TSA agent. And that way you don't have to stand for too long, or you don't have to be weaving back and forth through the line. But I did ask the TSA agent if I could video record the pat down. She needed to get the supervisor there, and I didn't want to wait. So I will just link a video up here showing what it's basically like, because it's pretty much the same at every airport. There are elevators all over the airport, so I take an elevator down to the train. Like I said, DIA is a huge airport, so I take a train, and then I take another elevator up, And I did arrive at the airport a little bit early, just because you never know how security's gonna be, you never know how traffic's gonna be. I will always show up a little bit early, and if I have enough time, I will go to my favorite restaurant in all of Denver International Airport, which is The Great Divide. It is a local brewing company in Denver. It has my favorite sour beer of all time, strawberry rhubarb. They also have pretty good burgers. So if you ever have some time to kill in Terminal C, then for sure, the wait for The Great Divide is absolutely worth it. Once you're ready, I'd say about 15 minutes before boarding your flight, I go to the agent at the front of my gate and I say, I need a claim at gate tag. And even if you don't know those exact words, they pretty much know what you mean. Basically what it is a tag that says, hey, this person brought their own wheelchair and wants to pick it up at their next destination. This is really important because if you have a connecting flight, if you don't get this tag, they're gonna send it all the way to your final destination. You're gonna get it at baggage. I don't like using the airport wheelchairs and I don't like people pushing me. It's really important to get the claim at gate tag. Also, they do an inspection tag, just looking at this is what wheelchair you have, this is the damage it has, this is the extra parts, and that protects both you and the airline, because if there is damage after you drop it off, then they are responsible for fixing that. In a wheelchair, you get pre-board, which means, anybody who's flown on an airline knows that just means you get a board before everybody else. It doesn't matter what your boarding group is, it doesn't matter where you're sitting, you get to board first. For Southwest, that's really cool because Southwest doesn't have assigned seats, so you get first pick. So you bring your wheelchair all the way down to the bottom of the jet bridge. Take your seat with you, because anything that can be taken off, I really highly suggest taking them off, because it's less things to worry about losing. So I will always bring my seat cushion with me onto the plane, just put it up with the rest of my baggage, and I will always also, don't have to do this by any means, but I always sit in the first row on the left side of the plane. It's where I'm most comfortable. I can see my wheelchair being brought down and being brought up when I get to my final destination, and it's just where I'm comfortable. I also will take off my leg every time I get on a plane, just because my leg gets uncomfortable with the pressure of the airplane. So taking it off, it just allows it to swell and shrink as it wants to, and then once the cabin pressure has resolved itself, I can put my leg back on and go get my wheelchair.
Part about the airport is people who stop directly in front of the sign that says no stopping or parking. But whatever. Rules don't apply to people.
Lastly, just waited for Ezra to come pick me up, and as you can see, even he on one leg can load this wheelchair by himself, so this is a great wheelchair. Highly suggest it. It's called a Quickie. I'll put it in the comments below. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you, as always, for staying with me and watching all my videos. I appreciate all of you. And if there's anything that you're still confused about or still have questions about, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I've been getting a lot better at answering the comments. So, thank you for being here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.